Welcome everybody back to Pro League. This is the last match before the round 2 finals. It's the Jin Air Green Wings versus CJ Antis. This could decide who gets into second place and third place between Jin Air and SK Telecom, but also CJ Antis could make history tonight if they win this match.
That's absolutely possible. This is going to be sick. Now, if CJ wins, the first team in Starcraft 2 history ever to go 7-0 in a team league in a round robin of 8 teams. We have seen perfect scores in the GSTL of teams in like a 5-team or a 6-team GSTL, because the GSTL didn't always have 8 teams. But to do that in Pro League, I don't even know if that's ever happened in StarCraft 1. There's too many Pro League matches. I didn't check everything, but in StarCraft 2, it's never happened before. I checked it. And
Detective Wolf is on the case.
I'm on the case. Starting things off with an epic for us, SOS versus herO. Do you guys remember the World Championship at IEM?
Yeah, man. If you don't remember that, go back and watch those VODs. It was the match for $100,000. SOS ended up winning it there. But I would argue now that herO is on top, especially when it comes to Ferdos's.
herO is favored. But it's a PvP. It's a best of one. And both of these teams are playing for pride. Also for Jin Air, this match is much more important because for them, this is about where they get seeded into playoffs, above or below SKT. And for CJ, this is just simply about, can we actually have a perfect score? Because no matter what the score is, even if they go 0-3, they will still remain in first place with 1 indicator point above the second place team. In this case would be Jin Air. I think it would be +11 to +10 if I have that off the top of my head correctly.
Yep. So. And besides all the possibilities of where the teams are going to end up here, every single game that we come into, guys, here is amazing. Just starting this off with SOS versus herO, then we go into Maru versus Byul, Rogue versus Hush, and then Kira versus Byung to end it for the 4 games there with a possible ace match, an almost likely ace match with how close these two teams are right now.
I feel like the big swing match in this one, you go either that could turn the teams around, is Rogue versus Hush.
Yes.
If Hush is able to take that game, then CJ will likely win the match. And the same is also almost reversely true of Jin Air with that as well. There's that really super tight, insane match of Maru versus Byul. It's really hard to favor one player clearly over the other. I think a lot of people would favor Maru, but, you know, any of these matches, I feel literally all 4 of them could go either way.
Yeah,
all of them.
I would agree with you.
Like, if
if we get all 4 predictions wrong here, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be like, yeah, this is the way it's going to go for this match. It is that hard to call.
This is actually insane, this match that we're about to watch. Like I said, this could be the finals.
Yeah, for sure.
So get out there on Twitter, tweet the stream link out, you know, Twitch, Azubu, everywhere else people are watching this. It's SC2 Pro League on Twitch. Get that out there. Get people in here. More people are watching this. It's a snowball effect. More and more people are going to get in here. It's going to be a great match. You know, this should not be one-sided. There's no reason to believe this is going to be one-sided. In fact, everything is pointing towards a Game 5 on Expedition loss.
Yeah. I'm 100% with you there. The way my predictions win, I had like 3-1 for CJ Antis, but then again, like we keep saying over and over, any one of those guys could win over any of the others. And I know a lot of other guys have predictions for 2-2 to go to that ace match. It really is just that close. If you had to pick one match here that you're most excited for, what would it be?
Maru versus Byul.
I'm with you there. It's hard to argue against that one. Byul just really, really on point, specifically with the ZVT, is looking fantastic. He took out Innovation, arguably like number 2 in terms of Terrans. I'd say Maru's probably number 1, just right ahead of him, like just barely. And it was a crazy one at that. Byul ends up winning game number 5 in that one with a bit of a cheese on Expedition Lost.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Incredible play out of Byul. Just so much ability to kind of be flexible. As we saw in his interview, he was like, I wasn't planning on doing this. I just got kind of nervous, and I felt like he was better than me, and he was starting to get the edge, so I just cheesed him because that's what I wanted to do. And I knew this build works on this map. You know, there's some ranking. He's seen it. So it works before. And in this case, you know, even while it was scouted, it was still very difficult to defend. So, you know, this guy is really flexible. And actually, I want to refresh my memory on what map he's going to be playing on today because that's out of my head. Vani Research Station.
Ooh.
So that one is going to be a pretty epic one.
I like that, man.
Free backdoor base, but A bit of a thinner map. A lot of bases on the map, though. And we're definitely going to see some aggression out of Maru. That fourth base contention,
I think so.
That's what I want to see.
Yep. That's a great match, man, but that's match number 2, game number 2 here in match number 2. And we're going to jump into SOS versus herO in just a bit here. Both guys have gotten into the lobby. This one's going to be on Overgrowth, guys. We already saw one PvP, actually, on Overgrowth already. Stats versus Youngwa. It was pretty close. I think this is going to be pretty close as well. Oh, my God. Once again, same split as we have for the other PvP. Both Mundakaster in the middle and Yudehan on the right side going for the same guy, and then the other 4 of us going for the other guy. herO slightly favored there, 4-2.
It's an odd day when Kanata sides with the majority.
Sides with the foreigners.
Yeah.
Me and Kanata and Moonglade actually all have the same predictions for the entire day. It's pretty crazy.
Well, SOS has had a tough Protoss versus Protoss record this season, 1-3. It actually, his early record overall has been a bit weak. You and Moonglade talk a lot about his experimentation, and I think that's a lot of what he's dealing with here. He's not making too many big mistakes. He's not playing badly, but he's playing builds that just seem to work in practice, but not so much in execution sometimes.
Bit non-standard, throwing some wacky stuff in there, losing games he should have won, and just overall not as solid as herO looks across all matchups, you know? And here's herO himself, part of CJ the hero for CJ Entis, you can call him at this point. He's 11-3. He has that Grandmaster symbol and a plus, or rather an upwards red arrow there. He couldn't be doing better unless he had no losses, which is nearly impossible.
No. And with 17 ace matches played, that's insane. He has single-handedly, I feel like, carried CJ Entis into their dominant period. Him and Coach Park together. And now they've got a solid lineup of so many good players.
Now Bjol joining in there, getting 9 wins for his team. Bjorn playing solidly. They always got a 4th guy in there as well to do well.
Yeah, we're going to jump into this Protoss right away, guys. SOS versus herO here on Overgrowth.
Up here in the top, bottom left, in the red for Jin-Air, it is SOS, $,
And his opponent to the top in blue for CJ Entis is herO. Now, so we don't have any proxies, and talk a little bit more about kind of like where we are in the final stats, because of that last game did actually decide a few things. If I'm not mistaken, MVP will now actually take 6th place behind Samsung with that loss because their indicator was worse than Samsung's. Now they're tied in score at 3-4 apiece. And if I just do the math in my head, I think it should put them at -4 to the -1 of Samsung. So Samsung is 3 points ahead of them. And so that does kind of determine that. And if Jin-Air loses, as we mentioned before, if they lose 2-3 and they get a -1 with this loss, they will tie with SKT. And a win of any kind, or any score better than that, will put them ahead of SKT.
Yeah. And just to clarify once again, if they do tie with SKT, it comes down to a 1-game tiebreaker between one representative from the team. And that's pretty insane, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure a guy from SK Telecom is down here. I'm not sure who it is. I didn't see anyone, actually, and I probably wouldn't spoil it anyway. Maybe he'll be coming a little bit later if that tiebreaker happens, but I'm sure he'll be ready.
My guess is that if we do get close to that tiebreak possibility, most likely it'll kind of be spoiled because they'll probably have some hype sort of camera on him sitting up in the booth or something like that.
Yeah. That's not him.
That's not him.
Who do you think it would be? Maybe Innovation? Sue?
I actually feel Sue. I would put the money on Sue. We don't know what the map is going to be. It'd probably be done based off of a veto system. But more on that later once we get closer to that possibility. We have a slightly faster core here for SOS, but nothing too out of the ordinary. Scout timing slightly different for these two. Is he just going to hide something here?
Looks like it.
That's an interesting rally. He's going to go scout and then maybe come back to hide something.
Yeah, he's got some time before that cybernetics core is going to finish up. And based on the gas timing, it looks like it's going to be Stargate. Looks like a little bit closer than he would put a Dark Shrine as well, or any kind of Twilight Tech, for that matter.
He comes in here. Pylon's done. Checks the edge. Turns around. No, stays in there.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to hide anything at all.
Just a pylon?
Just put a pylon there, make his opponent worried about where the pylon is, fake him out.
Yeah, that's going to be annoying for herO.
Yeah, you would expect that with a pylon placed like this that he would hide something. But he's just going to make a Stargate back at home instead.
Is that Legend? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He's watching.
He's here.
He's a fan.
Yeah. I actually played against Legend in the Legacy of the Void ladder the other day. It was really him. Had a fun game. Blink Stalkers beat Cyclones, though.
That they do.
I took that tip from you and told me how to beat him.
Although I think the standard answer to that now is Phoenix's.
Yeah.
Wow, he's gonna find this pylon. That's pretty huge. SOS puts that out there to trick herO, but herO finds it anyway. SOS ends up putting a Stargate back in his main base just to be safe. Look at this. herO doesn't even commit to it. He's like, okay, I know you got a pylon over there.
That's so smart. It's just kind of like, ooh, what if he actually has a bunch of Stalkers nearby, or if he rushed Warp Gate Research and this ends up dying? It's just not worth the pylon. It's too far away from my base, and there's nothing here. He's clearly not committing to this. But he doesn't know about the Oracle, and his scout does get denied here. SOS very diligent. He has the Watchtower and checks the alternate pathway, so there's no way to check if there's a Nexus, nothing. Totally blind now with his Blink Stalker play.
And that's going to force him to be very defensive. It's just, that one tech path of Oracles specifically makes you very defensive in this matchup, and looks like he's going to send out a probe here. Maybe he's scouting to see if there's any more buildings or if there's any warp-ins.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he's checking for. Do you have any warp-ins? Did you add a building late? What's going on?
But he didn't even check the pylon. It looks like he's just sending out another scout, another probe scout over to the left side because he knows that SOS is guarding the right side.
Oh boy, those units are at the natural right now. There's nothing here to defend this. He should be able to get 3 or 4 kills here at least. Well, doesn't grab the 4th. There he does.
Yeah. Nice little bit of damage there coming out of SOS. And
Hidden Nexus.
Oh my god. Well, if you want to beat herO in a best-of-1, this may be the best way to do it.
Well, this is going to totally throw him off. He knows that he's up against a Blink Stalker build. Again, scout denied here. He knows he's up against a Blink Stalker build, so he knows just how to defend this. Just sit back, stay at the top of his ramp, use his Mothership core to defend, and if his opponent is under the impression that it's a 1 base versus 1 base and he's able to sneak probes over there, he's not going to Maynard them because that's obviously a dead giveaway, but he can start to build that probe count out. He will be able to eventually overpower this. I'm surprised he gets his own Twilight Council rather than getting a Robo here. I wonder if he's just going to go for DTs instead. No, his own Blink.
Blink, yeah. That is interesting. I would agree with you there. Try to get your Robo out. You see that a lot of times just, even when you get a Nexus down at your natural, you usually want to get a Robo just to be safe. You get some good scouting information, and also you get a lot of Immortals early. And it's good for defending a lot of different builds from your opponents.
herO is playing so timid right now. He doesn't show his Blink. He could have blinked on top of that Oracle, but he doesn't show it. But it's already known. At this point, SOS is very aware that Blink is on the way. That's that probe buildup I'm talking about. This Oracle is just floating around here trying to find more scouting. He might be able to deny his Nexus again. Is he actually going to do this? Oh, that's an Observer. Okay.
I thought that was a probe too. 3 Stalkers in the main to defend against the Oracle. Oracle is going to find no damage. And that Nexus is up. And only now is the Nexus of herO getting up.
This is actually so scary because SOS with this 2-base economy that he's going to get up to, or really like 1.5 base because it looks like he's only going to saturate probes, he could actually just do a Blink Stalker follow-up. Because herO has been so timid, he's going to build up this massive Stalker count. He's going to have more economy, more minerals than herO expects. Knows he's got this banking gas, so he doesn't really need to make gases at that hidden base right now if he wants to commit to a Stalker attack. I think that's exactly what we're going to see him do. He's just going to attack with Stalkers. That Oracle's going to target down any Immortals he runs into. Oh, this is so scary right now for herO. He doesn't even know this is coming. He's about to see it.
Oh, that is a huge scout. Thankfully, SOS does take that out.
Yeah. Even takes that out, so now he doesn't know where the Stalkers are going to be, how he's going to approach, which angle he's going to come from.
SOS is putting down a 3rd base. Whoa.
Okay.
What do you think about that? I mean,
maybe he's like, okay, you saw this. Let me just pick off some of your expensive units. Maybe just poke at the front and make you feel defensive again. Be like, okay, it's fine. I defend. It's 2 base versus 2 base, but it's going to be 3, and he doesn't know that. So maybe just keep putting the pressure on. Immortals are coming out here, so he definitely can't commit. His window that he might have wanted to hit to harass and poke here at the front heavily is kind of where he could still poke a little bit. But you need to be careful because with those Immortals there, if he goes over commits and thinks he's just going to blink away, herO also has Blink. So He needs to be aware of that.
I think what you're saying is definitely correct. SOS definitely putting on the pressure, containing herO in a way on those two bases, just taking out the map control, taking away a ton of vision, taking away that Oracle, or rather that Observer from earlier on. He's even going to get a Revelation.
And don't forget, at this point, herO doesn't actually know the exact timing of the natural because he lost his probe scouts several times. He lost his Observer before he could cross the map, so he doesn't even know what's going on back at home. This is a terrible feeling to be in the position where herO is right now.
Really, all I can think is like, oh, okay, you probably have your natural by now. If he sees the timing of that natural, he may be like, you're only main-earning probes now? Like, that is really late. And that may make him a little bit overconfident, or it may tip him off, like, is he, this looks a little bit strange. Like, that is almost too late.
Yeah, that's the first time he's been able to scout. By the way, notice that after that happened, where did SOS send his units? He sent his Stalkers to the Watchtower, and he sent his Oracle to the right side. He wanted to check and make sure no other Observers, no other Hallucination Scouts, no units are going to check that base to the bottom right. He's like, you might at this moment be thinking there's a hidden base, and he checked all avenues of Scouts, and he totally covered that to make sure nothing went at that moment to scout. No hallucinations. He's very aware of this.
SOS is getting so far ahead with this at the same time. This could be that kind of upset, that crazy best of one. But at the same time, herO is moving out on the map. This may just be to take the Watchtower. Let's see.
Yeah, he's just going to take this Watchtower. Very scary move out against a Watchtower like this, but he feels like he has more units. He's been trying to scout.
Ooh, he's sending out a Stalker right now.
He's going to check this. There's nothing to deny him this time because he took that Watchtower. Checks this third. Oh, I wonder if he's just not even going to check the other.
Oh. He's going to check the third. He puts down his own third.
Oh, he's just under such false assumptions right now. Such false assumptions. False pretenses, whatever the word is that I'm looking for here. He thinks that it's two base versus now his coming up third, but it's just absolutely not true. 5 more gates being added right now as this third base is scouted for SOS.
If herO is smart enough, he's going to begin to realize, like, oh, he just has too many units. This doesn't make any sense.
But even now, if he realizes it, it may be too late for him to do anything about it because those units are already going to be paid for.
Yeah. I think at this point, that Nexus is more than paid for itself. SOS definitely getting ahead. Look at the supplies even at this point in time.
He's going to try to hit this timing with all these gateways and crush that third base of herO's. herO's going to have perfect positioning because economy-wise, there's no way to catch up at this point. Whether he knows about the third base or not, point blank, he's going to see these units, and he is going to have to prepare perfectly for them. And even if he does, I don't know if it's going to be enough.
herO still has no idea. He's keeping a Stalker there at the third base, and he's saying, I'm ahead. I'm getting my third base up. I'm totally fine. But he's not.
This is how SOS has played round 2, man. Experiments, tricks, illusions, hallucinations, fakes. And he does it again here.
It's insane. The player that he's becoming, actually. It's just so tricky.
It's like this is what makes him happy. This is the type of game that he likes to play.
Yeah, definitely could be.
I can feel that.
He's like, oh, I'm just sick of playing standard. Let me just try to trick my opponents. Stalker finally goes in there, and at this point, maybe herO's saying, like, oh, he's going for a 2-base timing. I can sacrifice my third base, but that is not the case at all. It's only going to get SOS farther ahead.
Look at that revelation as well. You're exactly right. He's just going to give this base up without fully understanding why.
Well, he just moved into position to guard it, but at the same time, as we've been making the point of at this point, that base is more than paid for itself, and SOS is just getting further and further ahead.
Now he's mostly ahead in Zealots. He's up 8 Zealots right now. He's up 12 probes as well. Army size is fairly similar. It's really those 8 Zealots that makes the big difference here. +2 is slightly ahead for herO with that chrono boost he's been using.
Oh, look at this. This is so cute. Actually, herO just doing a lot of damage with 1 Stalker at a time. Gonna get 2 probe kills. And he could blink again if he's paying attention. Looks like he's not.
I think he's just so paranoid over here at this third.
He hasn't transferred anything to the third. He's just letting it go because he assumes that SOS is doing a 2-base all-in.
And that gas mining is going to start to bite him because, as you can see now, another Colossus is on the way. 2 Colossi at a time with double robo production here for SOS. He has also an Archon ahead right now with some of that extra gas mining. He's just trying to force his opponent to get out of position because he can actually win a fight now. He's that ahead. Like, he's 16 army supply ahead at this point.
For sure. Once that +2 finishes and like you said, that double robo starts to kick in, he's got to be so careful. Oh, not the best place to fight here for herO. Huge concave for SOS. He's got even more units. Pretty big time warp there in the front, and now herO's just going to back off. Those Colossi are going to be picked off. Big blink forward.
All those Zealots and those Stalkers in the back can't help protect the Colossi, and just way too much damage from behind. SOS, the Illusionist, the man of mind games, is going to win this game with a hidden Nexus build on a 2-player map. He's up now 80 supply, and he's got this one in the bag. He's going to take out that last Colossus and take the win, putting Jin Green Wings ahead 1-0.
This is what we were talking about, man. Every game here can go either way. Whether it be tricks or solid play, he takes the win. SOS, $$, super important win for his team.
Well, in that game, it was all about that money, Valdez. That third base coming up. Triple the mining of gas there temporarily. Shaking his finger, giving the finger wag. Yeah. Don't play straight up against me. Scout me a little bit next time. At this point, everyone is telling herO, you know he had a hidden base right. Can't even imagine how that must feel.
That's one of the worst ways to lose, I'm sure. Because that wasn't even just a hidden base that was up for like 2 minutes. That was up for 6+ minutes. I mean, he got so much value out of that base that was basically the single reason why herO lost, because he did not scout that base and he did not punish it. SOS, you really got to hand it to him. It's not even just like one trick that he got away with. He made it look so convincing that he was just playing safe and playing from behind, getting his bases later, playing safe on 2 base, attempting to make a bunch of units and kill herO on 2 base, but actually he had 3, and herO just got way too far behind. SOS, he's the magician Protoss, man. This guy, he makes it happen out of thin air.
No, this was basically just, I don't know, an excellent mind game. Very well executed. Yeah. Well, now that second match, that super hype match, Maru versus Biel, this is the one to watch tonight. And it's coming up right now on Bonnie. I'm super duper hyped for this one. It could go either way, just like our first match, just like our third match will be. And if it goes to a fourth, could go either way as well. All sorts of matchups we're seeing today. In fact, we're going to see all 3 matchups today. We will. TVT, like the only one that we might not see.
Yeah.
But that's even on the cards. Look at Karn in the background. Famous guy who made the Karn build. What's he doing here? This match is so sick. Retired StarCraft pros are coming down to watch.
Yeah. Maru versus Biel. Pretty insane. Maru is so good in TVZ. Biel is so good in ZVT. They're both on top of their games right now. This could not be a better match, in fact. Like, I guess maybe Maru versus Life, but even then, Biel, I feel like his ZVT is comparable to Life these days. I'm going to say it. He's playing that well.
He's definitely closing the gap. He's looking really, really good. What we're seeing from Biel right now reminds me of what we were seeing from Dark in round 1.
Yeah,
in this matchup where it's just like, uh-oh, he's coming out of nowhere. I feel like he's even past where Dark was last round. Dark, obviously, I don't
He's like where Dark was supposed to be.
Exactly.
If Dark didn't fall off, you know?
Exactly.
He's reached that next level.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That you and I are linked on this one. That's literally the point I'm getting across. Like, that's where he's at right now. And the hype is swirling around him. This guy has, to a certain extent, come out of nowhere this year. I mean, he did very well last year. He did well last season, but he was on a team that couldn't really support him. He was on a team, or he was like the Losera of last season, where he's the only guy winning for IM, and he's having a hard time. And then now he's on a really, really strong team, and this is going to be epic.
Yeah, it's going to be insane, man.
We couldn't have asked for a better matchup with these two teams fighting each other.
Yeah. Make sure you're telling your friends, guys. Get on Twitter, get on Facebook, tell your cat, tell your grandma to get in here. Say, hey, grandma, have you ever watched StarCraft 2? This is what I do with my time.
Is that one of those shoot-'em-up games?
Yeah.
I don't like them. No.